What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Captain Cody Davis here with you guys again for another one. And I originally was going to film this outside by the pond, but our mosquitoes are horrendous outside right now. Even at 4 o'clock in the afternoon in the heat of the day, they just won't leave you alone. So I decided to come in here to the AC and have my lovely wife help me film this real quick while she's tending to our 3-month-old who is playing with toys. So if you hear some squealing and attempting to talk, that's him. He's very excited. But I've been getting a lot of questions lately on people that are either new to fishing Lake Okeechobee or trying to get into it, having questions. They feel very overwhelmed, saying they're not having any luck on the lake, and if I can give them any tips or pointers as to, how to find some more fish or be a little bit more efficient on the water. So just wanted to shoot this quick video just to kind of give you guys, I'd say 4 setups, 4 baits, if you will, that will enhance your chances of not only finding fish, but finding them in a timely manner and just making you be more efficient on the water. Because when it comes down to it, you really only need these 4 rods and these 4 baits when it comes down to it. But what I'll tell people all the time is every 100 yards on this lake is a group of fish. I mean, you're always around fish. If you have good looking water, there's bait, vegetation, you're around fish on Lake Okeechobee. They might not always be the biggest, or they might not always be the easiest to catch, but you're always around them. But you're not going to find those productive areas doing 70 mile an hour across the lake. You're going to find them by fishing. So these baits are going to help you cover water and be efficient and help you locate these key areas. And then obviously once you find these areas, you have some confidence, then you could slow down and use some other presentations and baits and what have you. But this is going to get you there. So I got 4 rods here, 4 different baits, so we'll go through them. Probably the most efficient, most effective bait that's been winning tournaments on this lake really for forever, but really has been really showing out over the last couple of years is a vibrating jig, a chatterbait, whatever you want to call it. All right. This is a 1/2 ounce bruised green pumpkin jackhammer by Z-Man, Evergreen, what have you. Everyone, you know what this is by now. This is the deal, all right? Now, you notice I have it in this bruised green pumpkin color. Don't get overwhelmed with colors down here on Okeechobee. Will white catch them? Absolutely. Will green pumpkin catch them? Absolutely. But this darker silhouetted, just darker natural color seems to work 365 and will always catch them. Like I said, you might get into a situation where you catch 2 or 3 on this. Once you locate some fish, then you might want to try a white color and you might double your catch ratio. But this is going to get you there, and they just seem to always eat this at some point if the conditions call for it. If you're dealing with windy conditions, maybe you find some submerged grass, which is a little difficult to find anymore, or just any submerged structure, vegetation, boat lanes, anywhere where there's wind or some kind of current blowing through and there's bait in the area. This is a great one to pick up and throw around, obviously because you can cover a lot of water and it catches big ones and numbers as well. I'm throwing this on a 7.6 medium heavy, I believe it is, mag medium heavy chatter trap by Senko Sticks. It's a 7.6 rod, so you can throw a long way, which obviously helps you cover water. And then, it's got the absolutely perfect bend and just action to keep those fish buttoned up. Throwing this on 17 or 20 pound fluorocarbon. Some people use 14. I think they're crazy. I just don't want to go that light. They will eat the heavier stuff, and that way you can winch them to the boat a little faster around the heavy cover. So a vibrating jig, a chatterbait. If you have more confidence in white or a different color, use that. But this darker, bruised green pumpkin color is my favorite in a 1/2 ounce. You could throw a 3/8, but I like that 1/2 ounce model. Next, probably the most overlooked and the one everyone shies away from, but probably without a doubt the most productive, is a speed worm style bait and setup. So what I have here, this is, I believe, the 7-inch Gambler burner worm in June bug. You can fish 365 and win every tournament on this lake on this bait right here. You can't do anything wrong with it. You can swim it, you can dead stick it, you can pitch it, you can drag it, you can buzz it on top. I don't know if I already said that, and you're going to get bit. A lot of people shy away from a Senko style bait because they don't want to slow down and fish that slow. You could pitch this around and fish this just like you do your Senko style bait, and you're going to catch the same fish, if not maybe some bigger bites. And this will also help you catching some fish in a little bit dirtier water because it's a bigger profile and that tail throws a little bit of water. I thought this was June bug. This might be black blue tail. Either way, no, it is June bug. It's just some kind of dark silhouetted color. This is a guide's best friend. This is what I usually start all of my trips with because, again, it'll catch them any conditions, anywhere on the lake. Usually like a 3/16 ounce weight. I'm fishing real shallow, an 1/8 ounce with 17 or 20-pound fluorocarbon, again, with a 5/0 EWG style hook is what I use. And this is a 7.3 medium heavy rod. That's what I like to throw this on. You can throw it on braid, but for the most part, this is more of Okeechobee finesse fishing. And Okeechobee finesse fishing means 17 or 20-pound fluoro. That's about as light as we go. Again, throwing this in the back on the outside. You can go to the back hard line, swim it around the cleaner water, swim it through the reeds, kind of make short pitches to isolated cattails and what have you. They eat this when they're in the middle of the summer and they're being lazy, and they love this bait when they're spawning. So if you only had one bait, this is probably the bait. It'll just catch them all the time, but don't overlook that guy. All right, next is a swim jig, okay? This is just a 7.6 mag medium heavy rod. This is a 7.6 Senko sticks as well, BTO. I love this rod for throwing a swim jig. I pretty much exclusively throw a 1/2 ounce black and blue no jack swim jig by Dirty Jigs, which is what I have on here. Again, once you dial into a spot where you're catching some fish, you can play around with colors, but black and blue, they will eat it during a shad spawn, which is what I was throwing this morning. They're actually eating a black and blue colored jig over a white one, even though they're eating shad for some reason. They'll eat this in gin clear water. They'll eat it in dirty water. For some reason, I feel like black and blue gets you bigger bites on the lake as well. Though just whatever type of little swimmer tail you like or craw trailer you like, this is a Gambler Little Easy on here. And throw this around and swim it. It's just like the chatterbait. You can cover a lot of water, but you could throw this through the thick Kissimmee grass, pull it through the reeds, the dollar pads, and you're covering water and you're fishing very efficiently. On top of that, if you get 100 bites on this bait, 99 of them are coming in the boat. You don't lose them. Throwing that on straight 65-pound braid on a six-speed reel, and it's great. You can also substitute, like I said, with this setup, throwing like a swim bait, like a Gambler Big Easy. But just to get started and for you to dial in some fish and cover water and fish quick, looking for these key areas, but being efficient while you do it, it's hard to beat a swim jig, especially this one. Again, 1/2 ounce. Enables you to throw it into the wind, enables you to get a little bit down in the water column, which is going to get you some of those bigger bites a lot of times. And black and blue is just always going to catch them out here on the lake. And then last but not least is a flipping rod. This is the one that's going to vary a little bit. This is a 7.8 reed beater, again, by Senko Sticks. I know I'm plugging them a lot and I sound like a walking commercial, but having a good versatile flipping rod is very important on Okeechobee. If you're comfortable with a 7.6, that's great. This is a 7.8. It's a little long, and it's a standard flipping stick is usually 7.6, but having that little bit longer rod makes it a little bit more efficient at using to flip the big weight, which is what I have on here. We're getting into those cooler months. The water's coming up. These fish are getting under any floating mats, pennywort, hyacinth, chop grass mats that you can find. So I can flip a 3/4 ounce on this rod like I have been, but I was able to put 1.5 ounces on this as well and fish it very efficiently. Have a flipping rod, and depending on where you're at in the lake and what vegetation is around, alter your weight size. If I had to pick one right now, I'd say a 1 ounce. That's going to get you through the Kissimmee grass, flipping the boat lanes, and also pitching to the reeds, the buggy whips that we're flipping. And if you come across any chopped grass mats or those pennywort mats, you can get through, say, 60% of them. If you get into an area that has a lot of thick mats that you want to dial in, then you might have to go up to that 1.25 ounces, that 1.5 ounces like I have here. 5/0 hook, 4/0 flipping hook, whatever it is, 65-pound braid, and just your standard beaver style bait. All right, a crawl works great. A giant, big, beaver style bait, creature bait will work as well. But the golden standard is just your standard size beaver. This is a Missile Baits D-Bomb, works awesome. Your regular Reaction Innovation Sweet Beaver, the 420 size, will work great. A Gambler Ugly Otter. I mean, there's whatever, a Strike King, Rodent, any of those beaver style baits that you feel comfortable with, put that on. And then again, going back to it, once you get into an area, maybe you're getting a few bites, maybe you're seeing a lot of bluegill in the area, then you'll switch to a big jig or a bigger plastic. But just to get started, very, very hard to beat this style bait, again, in a dark color. Black and blue, again, is going to get bit all the time. My favorite is just an all black bait. I like that dark silhouette. I feel like they don't get a good look at it. A lot of people think when you're coming to Okeechobee to flip, you're flipping for 5 bites. Not necessarily true. In my opinion, it's my confidence deal. If I had 5 minutes to get a bite on Okeechobee, this is the rod I'm picking up, especially this time of year. There's fish on the outside edge. There's fish all the way in the back, and there's all kinds of isolated cover. Pitch this thing around, and you definitely will get some bites. Big ones as well. We caught, a couple 5-pounders today pitching, and that was the deal. So those are the 4 little setups to get you started. I know I went a little bit long-winded on that, but keep it simple. Once you locate an area that you want to put your power poles down and pick apart, that's when you can play with different baits, presentation, speeds, colors, all that stuff. But as far as being overwhelmed with maybe your first time on Okeechobee, that's all you need to get started, and you can win a $100,000 tournament on any of those baits as of right now. So hope that helps you guys out. If you guys want to book a trip, let me know. I am booking all the way into next May already. The fishing's going to be great. It's setting up awesome. The water didn't spike up as high as we thought it might. So I think we're going to have a good season. And yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Tie lines.